Hello there, grumpy old fart here. A while back, I did a video about the phenomena of the elongated skulls. Go check that out before you watch this one. In that video, I talked about where all over the world they're finding skeletons, and archaeological digs are finding skulls with that are elongated. They've got the back of the head elongated out, and generally, I mentioned it in that video that scientists believe that these elongated skulls were the result of the practice of head binding to shape the skull. The child's born, and for whatever reason they're binding the back of the head, and it causes the skull, instead of being round, it causes it to grow out that direction. So you get that elongated skull, and that seemed a plausible thing, except my query was how so many cultures around the world who never had any contact with each other managed to adopt the same practices, resulting in these elongated skulls. I mean, it would be one thing if a group of tribes in a certain area did it, but when they're all over the world, that struck me as odd, Now, I came across an article the other day that I felt needed to be talked about. Evidence has come to light that seems to blow the entire head binding theory out of the water. Evidently this evidence has existed for over 160 years, which means scientists knew about it, and they still propagated the head binding theory. Okay? Science has known that the head binding theory was wrong, but they continue to propagate this fallacy from a paper first published in 1851. A man named Rivero and another man named, I'm going to say it's Tschudi. It spells Tschudi. That's how it's spelled. And I want to get his name right because everybody deserves to have their name right. Rivero and Tschudi. They noted mummies of small children with elongated skulls, which means they didn't have time to bind the heads properly. Okay. And people go, well, maybe they had a way of doing it faster. Maybe. But let me continue. Furthermore, they also note unborn fetuses found in the wombs of mummies of pregnant women. So in other words, a woman was pregnant, she died, they mummified her, the fetus is still inside. Okay. They've got 2 of these mummies. Okay. And the fetuses inside the woman, unborn fetuses, have elongated skulls. So that blows the head binding thing right out of the water, because apparently there are people being born with these elongated heads. Again, at least 2 of these mummies exist. I want to say one of them is in Peru. I'm not sure where the other one is. Maybe in a museum somewhere. Well, I'm sure they're both in museums, but my point is, one of them is in Peru. I don't know where the other one is. And this blows the whole head binding thing right out of the water. And the part that gets me is, the scientists knew. This paper was published in 1851. They knew. And they still propagated this bullshit. Okay? I talk about this a lot. There's a man named Michael Cremo who talks about how scientists change the evidence to fit their theory. That's not science. Science goes where the evidence leads. You don't form a conclusion and then find evidence that fits it. You don't change evidence to fit it. You see what I'm saying? That's what these guys are doing. Pure and simple. The way I see it, there's 2 options. Because these humans, or these mummies, are of human beings. Excuse me. Excuse me. Tickle in my throat. Okay. Because these mummies are of human beings, DNA proven. Okay. The way I see it, there's 2 options. They're either alien hybrids, meaning there was some alien shenanigans going on, and they put a baby in that woman, and then she died. So boom, it's there. Or there is an extinct race of people who used to live all over the world, and I mean everywhere. Gee, everywhere they've got pyramids and these megalithic structures, and you find them all over the world, just like these elongated skulls. And Now we find out that people are being born that way. Could it possibly be that these ancient peoples that are no longer around are the ones who built these megalithic structures? Because they had maybe some advanced technology or something? I don't know. That's the whole point. We don't know. Science is guessing. Every time science says they know something, they find something later that blows it out of the water. Everybody said, well, mammoths were extinct for 65 million years, and then they found a mammoth with soft tissue in the bone, and they were able to get DNA samples from. That shouldn't happen. There's no way that bone is 65 million years old. Okay? Everybody said the coelacanth was extinct for 65 million years, and then, it turns out they've been catching them off of Africa for years. Everybody says, well, there's no way that could exist, and then they find it. The giant octopus. They caught him off of Japan. It's crazy. Whenever science says they know something, take a step back, because that shit's going to change. It's just the way it is. And this right here proves it. Science is covering up facts so that their narrative can be pushed. If it doesn't fit their narrative, they don't talk about it. Okay? These are the people who are making the science books that are teaching our kids in school. Same people. This has to stop. I would highly recommend a book called Forbidden Archaeology by Michael Cremo. Go check it out. Get it, read it, absorb it, because he talks about exactly the same stuff here. And this needs to stop. Science cannot progress forward as long as this brand of investigation, and I use that term loosely, is going on. They're finding these skulls, these elongated skulls, all over the world. Nobody knows where they come from. Their primary theory just got blown out of the water. And, it didn't just get blown out of the water. It never had traction to begin with. Okay? They knew it was fake when they propagated it. That's the part that pisses me off. How are we supposed to advance as a species when scientists are lying to us? Gee, they're lying to us about a lot of stuff, aren't they? You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.